If it feels that everything is moving way too fast, faster than ever, it's because it is. You may find yourself feeling more guilty relaxing and doing nothing, or amidst a new AI advancement that makes you feel inadequate, replacing the one from yesterday that did the same thing. The two world's largest powers are in a savage race to lock in the next era, and the one that's currently on top knows that its tools have an expiration date. So before the architecture shifts, the United States is going to swing every lever its dwindling currency supremacy affords it. And they have a few main levers. The first is spending. Wake up. No administration, no president, no party is going to cut a dollar. They already died years ago. The deficit is not even viewed as a problem. It's a weapon they're choosing to use. Every dollar the United States spends beyond what it takes in gets absorbed by a global system that still treats US debt as the safest asset on earth. That's the privilege of issuing the world's reserve currency. As long as the dollar runs the system, the United States can spend in volumes no other country could survive. The privilege that lets them spend, however, is the same privilege the spending is eroding. Holders watch the debt grow, watch the ratings fall, and slowly move somewhere else. Sanctions are one of their main liquidity weapons, a privilege afforded by having the dominant currency in the world. Almost every cross-border transaction in the world touches the dollar somewhere. When you cut off the access, the target gets cut off from the global economy. When Russia invaded Ukraine, the US froze $300 billion of its central reserves overnight and blocked its major banks from the system. The ruble lost 40% of its value in 2 weeks. When Iran defied the nuclear deal, the US cut its oil exports by more than half. The rial lost 80% of its value. Inflation hit 40%. Recently, the US sanctioned Chinese refineries for buying Iranian crude. Within weeks, their international banking access started drying up, and their margins collapsed. But the privilege that lets them sanction is the same privilege the sanctions are eroding. Each use teaches the world to build around the dollar rather than through it. Russia now sells its oil to China and India in yuan, rupees, and dirhams through a parallel banking network that never touches a US bank. Iran moves billions through shadow exchange houses and front companies the dollar system can't see. And China just told companies to ignore sanctions on their refineries entirely and keep them running. But if they can use these levers to realign the global architecture before it shifts, the supply chains, the energy flows, the manufacturing, the chips, they buy themselves another century on top. If they don't, somebody else writes the rules for what comes next. And personally, I'm positioning with the play, not against it. The framework follows the structural pressure. The names follow the framework. The architecture gets mapped out in my newsletter, link in bio. The theater by theater breakdown drops on YouTube soon.